What would he have gone for, Allen, if he played last year and this wasn't happening?
I'm just wondering, can it go any higher though? Like think about what Cleveland's giving up. Like, what more could they have asked for? Like, to me, Cleveland gave up everything because they know this is a roster that's built to win now. You got to maximize it.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty clear last year. Okay, they got a few injuries, but for the most part, quarterback play held them back. There's no denying it.
You know, Watson was coming off a year in 2020 where he had a career year, and that's when Hopkins left.
Yeah.
And
Will Fuller became his number one at one
Brandon
point.
Cooks.
Yeah.
You know, like they won 4 games, but the team was bad.
Yeah. No, but he truly had an exceptional season. Like,
Yeah.
You watch him week in, week out, he kept that team competitive.
Oh, yeah. They were in so many games that they shouldn't have been in, right? And most of it was because of his. Like, I remember there was a video of him and J.J. Watt walking off the field.
Oh, I remember this.
And Watson just, like, puts his hand on his back and, like, you know, gives him a fist bump or whatever it was. Yeah. And J.J. Watt was like, man, we're wasting you.
Yeah.
Like, sorry we let you down. Defense played bad, but we're wasting you. Like, we and, I mean, that guy has seen so many quarterbacks come there. Like, who's the most stable quarterback he's ever had? Prior to Watson? Schaub, right?
It has to be Schaub.
So, like, you know, Brian Hoyer, I remember him throwing 4 interceptions and a half, and then DeAndre Hopkins, like, get that fucker off the field.
Matt Castle.
You know? Like, yeah, they've had some bad stuff there. Brock Osweiler, too, they brought in. So, he had such an insane season, and then everything that went down last year. Dude, I remember after that year that he had, we would have segments, and we would talk about Watson. I'd be like, yo, I'd only take Mahomes over him to, like, build a franchise, right? Like, I'm talking about, like, his decision-making, his, you know, the pocket awareness, and he's a 2020 kind of quarterback, right?
Exactly.
And, you know, the moments aren't too big for him. And I always was a Watson guy. And then this entire situation goes down with all these accusations and all the legal stuff going on, and he just sits out a whole year. To me, it's crazy.
Oh, he didn't sit out. He was pretty much
forced. Yeah. And it's just crazy to think that despite all that going on, the Browns still gave up what they gave up for him.
Yeah, he still commands huge, literally commanded his own sweepstakes.
Yeah. But, yo, look, it's the sad reality of the NFL, sports, and just life in general. If you're talented and people can win with you, they're gonna deal with it.
All right. You always get those opportunities.
You'll get those opportunities. Yeah. It sucks and it's unfortunate, but that's also like, and look at the NFL in particular too. Mike Vick, Plaxico Burress, Dante Stallworth, Ray Lewis, like the list goes on. Ray Rice. Oh, Ray Rice like completely taken out the picture, but like Tyreek Hill has had his incidents. Joe Mixon has had his incidents.
Deshaun Watson's teammate Kareem Hunt.
The list goes on, and the NFL, they continue to give you a chance if you're talented.
Yeah, even Greg Hardy got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. He just got cut by the UFC too, rightfully so, because that dude was never a UFC caliber fighter. Right. But what do you think of Watson though? Like on the Browns, do you think that because the Browns to me go from a team that I had no expectations of making the playoffs to now I think they might be able to win their division with him there.
I think they're neck and neck with Cincinnati. Like that division, like we talk about the AFC West, the AFC North is not too behind. You have 4 teams in that division that are going to compete. Like say what you want about the Steelers, you know the Steelers aren't going away without a fight. That's just how it is with them. The same goes for the Ravens. I just think that roster, I think one of the biggest things is like Watson now gets to play behind a really good offensive line, something he never had in Houston. He also never really had a lethal running game. So you put those 2 things goodbye. And I think through the draft, they'll find some receivers. But I do think him and Cooper could strike up a pretty nice rapport. Njoku down the seam. So like they got things to work with there. And I do believe in Kevin Stefanski as a coach. I just think with Cleveland, if they're going to compete with the best, it's just a matter of, especially this year, like how long will Watson be suspended for? Because it looks like he'll probably get 6 games, potentially more. And that's a lot of time to make up for it. And such a jam-packed conference where I really think there could be 9 really good teams when you think about it.
In the AFC?
Yeah. You include the whole AFC West, and we'll talk about one team that made a huge splash soon. I think the whole AFC North you could make a case for. Bills, obviously. Patriots, okay, maybe they're kind of overachieved last year, but they're still good. And then see what happens with the Titans and Colts. Like, what real bad teams are there? Like, okay, Miami's sketchy. The Jets are the Jets. The Jaguars are the Jaguars. And, Houston's in total.
But even with those teams, I feel as if, and I could be wrong, I feel like there's some optimism surrounding those teams.
Which teams?
Like the teams, like Miami, they got a new coach, right? The Jaguars, they got Trevor Lawrence. They got a new coach now, and they spent all this money in free agency. Whether you agree with it or not, they spent money. They're trying to do something.
I can see it. Yeah, there's optimism. I just don't see how those teams win 10 games. Like the teams that I mentioned just now, I think could all win 10
wins. Yeah,
You could see that easily.
Well, that's why it's going to be interesting to see if the Watson suspension comes down.
Yeah.
Is he going to miss some conference games or division games too?
Well, 6 games is 6 games. So
right. Yeah, you don't want to fall behind too much. But what do you think happens now with Baker?